Self-confidence is a superpower. Self-confidence is a superpower. Once you start to believe in yourself, magic starts happening. Once you start to believe in yourself, magic starts happening. Good morning to all students. I start my video with this positive thought. Student, in this video, I will explain chapter number 13. The title of this chapter is the simple present tense. Now, it's a very easy tense and this chapter is also very interesting. So, all of you give proper concentration. Now, look at here, student. Read these sentences. Hot air rises, cold air sinks. A Smith lives on a park street. I like hot cocoa. Now all these highlighted words represent simple present tense. You can see here rises, sinks, lives and like. All these verb form present simple present tense form. Now look at here students in detail. What is the format of the simple present tense? Where we have to use simple present tense with examples. As you know students that you have learned in 5th standard also the simple present tense. Still once again I give the format of simple present tense. As per the rule, the format of simple present tense is subject plus main verb form. You can see the base verb form and then object. This is the format of simple present tense. Now you know students that with I we are not using verb with S or ES. Okay, and with you also we are not using, but we are using S and ES only in third person singular. And again the plural form is given, there also we are not using S or ES. Now look at here students, the verbs in bold are in the simple present tense. We use the simple present tense to express universal truth. If in the sentence universal truth is given, we are using this tense. So which type of universal truth? You can see here example given in your textbook very nicely. The earth spins on its axis. Here this sentence represents the universal truth. So here the verb is given in simple present tense form. And here the earth is given, that is third person singular. That's why at the end of the verb S is given in the end of the verb. So look at here, the earth spins, S-P-I-N-S, on its axis. Second, water freezes into ice. Here also third person singular is there. That's why verb at the end of the verb we have to add S or ES. Look at here, water freezes into ice. F-R-E-E-Z-E-S. Next, we also use it to show habitual or repeated action. If we want to show our any habit or any repeated action, we are using this tense. Look at here, Binoy goes for a swim every morning. This is a habit of Binoy. Which habit? Swimming. Every morning, Binoy goes for a swim every morning. So here, this is also third person singular. That's why we have to use S or ES at the end of the verb. That's why here goes is written. Now next example. I brush my teeth twice a day. I brush my teeth twice a day. This is repeated action. But here I is written, that's why we are not adding S or ES at the end of the verb. So I brush my teeth twice a day. Next, we use it to indicate situations that are permanent for at least a few years. Some actions are permanent, last for few years. So about that also we can use simple present tense. Look at here, Mr. Gomes lives in an old mansion. Means here, last from few years, Mr. Gomes lives in that old mansion. So here lives is written L-I-V-E-S. Next, mother works in an office. Last from few years, Your mother, father were working in that particular office. That's why here WORKS is written because this is third person singular. Next, we use it to talk about the future events that are part of a timetable. If we want to mention some future events and that are part of our daily timetable, for that purpose also we are using these tense. Look at here the example. I leave for Chennai tomorrow. I repeat once again. I leave for Chennai tomorrow. Here leave is written. L-E-A-V. Here S or E-S is not there because here I is given. Okay, that's why. See the next example. She completes her assignment next week. Here third person singular is there. That's why we have to put a verb with S or ES. Here complete is there. But here what we have to write? COMPLETES. Completes her assignment next week. Now next. We also use it to express a feeling or opinion. If we want to express our feelings or opinion, for that purpose also we are using simple present tense. Chris loves idlis. Here third person singular is there. That's why loves written LOVES. Now next example. Zainab believes in ghost. Here this is also third person singular. That's why we have to write believes. BELIEVES. Zainab believes in ghost. Now look at here. We use words like often, usually, always, never, every day and so on with the verbs in the simple present tense. Generally in simple present tense, students, we found this type of word given in the sentence. This is a signed word. Through that words you can understood properly that this sentence represents simple present tense form. Look at here student, once again I read all these words and you have to also remember all these words. We use words like often, usually, always, never, every day and so on with the verbs in the simple present tense. So this type of words are used in simple present tense. Okay, so remember all these words properly. Now look at here students. This table, one important table given in your textbook student on page number 58 of your textbook. This table is a very important table, and if you read and go through this table, you can understand properly where we have to use S or where we have to use ES at the end of the verb. So look at here. This table shows us how to form verbs in the simple present tense. Here the usage is written, okay, then form is written and examples. Look at here, the first usage after singular nouns and pronouns like he, she, it, everybody, no one, nobody and so on. If this type of singular noun or pronoun given in the sentence, what we have to do? See that the form, add s to the base form of the verb. If this type of noun, singular nouns and pronouns given, there we have to use s at the base form of the verb. Like work, so there we have to write works. If the word is written like, then we have to write likes. Okay, if she likes mango, so there compulsory we have to write likes. But if I is written I like mango, there we can't use likes. Okay, there we have to write I like. Okay, now next see there, add es to the base form of the verbs that end in s, sh, t, ch, ch, x or z. At the end of the base form of the verb and that verb ended with this type of letters, then we have to use es. So all these words you have to remember by heart students. I repeat once again, where we have to add es to the base form of the verbs that end in s if any verbs which is end with the sh or sh or t, ch or ch, X और Z, इसमें से कोई भी वर्ब ये लेटर से एंड होता है तब कंपल्सरी हमें क्या यूज़ करना पड़ता है, ES. फॉर एग्जाम्पल वॉस, तो देर वी हैव टू राइट वॉसेस बिकॉज these verb end with which word, SH. So there we have to write washes, WASHES. Then next word is touch, TOUCH. So these verb also ended with a CH letter. So there also we have to use at the end of the verb ES. So what is that? TOUCHES, touches. Okay, now see the next rule. Drop the Y and add IES to most verbs that end in Y. Suppose Y is given in the verb at the end of the word, the last letter will be Y, then what we have to do? That Y, we have to cut it and there instead of Y, we have to use IES. For example, try word is given TRY. The last letter is Y. So we have to cut this Y and what we have to put? IES. So it become tries. TRIES. Okay, now the same. Carry, CARRY. The last letter is Y. So here we have to cut it Y and there we have to add IES. So carries, CARRIES. Now see the next important rule. Change the verbs have, go and do. Here, suppose have is given in the sentence as a verb, then in simple present tense, here, if the third person singular is there, there we have to put has. If the word go is given, there we have to put goes. And if do is given, there we have to write does. So all these rules are very short but very important. You have to remember by heart. Now use doesn't plus base form of the verb in negative sentences. Okay, if we want to change the sentence into negative form, then we have to write do or does, that is compulsory, but it is a third person singular, there we have to write compulsory does, and then after we have to put not, and then we have to write the base form of the verb. Then the sentence change into negative format. Does not drive, does not sing. There we don't have to write drives or sings, but we have to write the verb in base form only. Now next rule, use does plus subject plus base form of the verb in yes or no questions. If yes or no questions will be there, we have to write first of all does plus subject plus base form of the verb. For example, does he know the answer? I repeat once again, does he know the answer? So first of all here does is there, then he is a subject and know is a base form of the verb, and then the remaining part, or you can say the object of the sentence. Now look at here. Use does plus subject plus base form of the verb in questions beginning with why, when, what, where, which, how and so on. If this type of word WH questions given, there what we have to do? Where does Chetan live? So first of all we have to put this type of WH question, then we have to add does, then we have to write subject, this is Chetan, and then we have to write the base form of the verb, this is live. So where does Chetan live? Okay. Now next rule, student, give your attention properly. After plural nouns and pronouns like I, you, we and they. Now we understood that if third person singular is given, then we have to follow that previous rules. But now if the plural nouns or pronouns like I, you, we or they given, the rules will be different. Look at here one by one. Use the base form of the verb in positive statements. If the positive statements are there, we have to write a verb in only base form. For example, work, sing, like. Okay, no need to add s or es. Now use don't plus base form of the verb in negative sentences. If plural nouns and pronouns like I, you, we or they given, and if we have to write the sentence in negative sentence, what is the format? First of all, we have to write do not, or you can say don't. Then after base form of the verb means drive, okay, and no need to there use s or es, but only base form of the verb we have to write. Do not drive, do not sing. Here sings or drives not written. See the properly students, this base form of the verb. Now next rule, use do plus subject plus base form of the verb in yes or no questions. If yes or no question is given, then we have to write do. With which we have to use do? If I, you, we and they as a subject form written, then only we have to use do. Otherwise, in third person singular, we have to compulsory use does. So, do plus subject plus base form of the verb. For example, do you know the answer? Do you know the answer? Okay, now see the next rule. Use do plus subject plus base form of the verb in questions beginning with the why, when, what, where, which, how and so on. If WH questions are given students, first of all we have to write WH questions word, that is where, then we have to compulsory write do, and then base form of the then subject and then base form of the verb. So here subject is they and the base form of the verb is leave. Okay, now the next rule, and this is last rule student. The verb be has three forms in the simple present tense. If in some fill-ups in the bracket be is written, so in simple present tense be means am, is, are. These are the forms of be. Okay, three forms, you have to remember it properly. As you know students, with I we have to use compulsory am. With I we are not using are or is. So with I we are using am. With plural subject we, they or you given, there we have to compulsory use are. And third person singular given he, she, it, there we have to write compulsory is. So these are the certain rules, that these all rules are very important and you have to learn all these rules by heart. Then only you understood where we have to put s or where we have to put es at the end of the verb in the simple present tense form. Okay students, I hope you all of you understood this table properly. Once again, I tell you that this table you have to read with a proper concentration and all the rules learn by heart, because grammar depend on rules and without rules you can't write correct exercise. Okay, now students, I will show you one short video about this tense, simple present tense. All of you observe this video and try to understand whatever rules given in that video. Let us enjoy the video.
The simple present tense is used for things that are general truth. It is also used for actions which are done often, usually, sometimes, or every day. For personal pronouns he, she, and it, we add s, es, and ies to the original form of the verb. For personal pronouns I, you, we, and they, we use the original form of the verb. Let us move on to understand simple present tense better. We use simple present tense to show general truths and facts. Add s to the original form of the verb. Let's take a look at the following examples. The moon shines at night. Shine, shines. The earth moves around the sun. Move, moves. We add s to to the original form of the verb when the verb is a habitual action or an action that is done often. Let's look at the examples. He walks to school every morning. Walk, walks. Asing sells fruits and drinks every afternoon. Sell, sells. We add ies to the original form of the verb when the verb ends with a y. She studies hard every night so that she can pass her exam. Study, studies. We add es to the original form of the verb when the verb ends with s, sh, ch, or o. Take a look at the examples. Tommy watches television every night. Watch, watches. He washes his car every week. Wash, washes. Jessica crosses that road every morning. Cross, crosses. My mother goes to the supermarket every Sunday. Go, goes. Now, let's go and take a look at some examples for the personal pronouns I, you, we, and they. When these pronouns appear, we cannot make changes to the verbs, so they remain in the original form. Look at the examples. They eat dinner at 6 p.m. every evening. Eat, eat. We drink orange juice every morning. Drink, drink. I walk to school with my friends every day. Walk, walk. Now, let us do an exercise together. Choose the correct verb in the present tense form to fill in the blank. His father goes to work by car every morning. She brushes her teeth every day. A tiger runs very fast. We sell vegetables every morning. He studies every night. Mr. Brian is a farmer. Every morning, he starts work when the sun shines brightly in the sky. Mr. Brian plants a lot of vegetables. Many people buy his fresh vegetables because he uses fertilizer. Every evening, Mr. Brian tidies up his workplace. And then he goes home in his own car. What are these words? These words are words in the present tense form that we can find in the story of Mr. Brian. Starts, shines, plants, buy, uses, tidies, goes. Let us do an exercise. Choose the correct verb in the present tense form. Tick the correct sentence. Every morning, the sun shines brightly. Mr. Brian starts work early in the morning. Mr. Brian uses fertilizer for his plants. Every evening, Mr. Brian tidies up his workplace. Mr. Brian goes home in his old car.
Okay students, I hope all of you understood the different rules of simple present tense. Now let us see exercise of your textbook. Look at here, exercise number. Read instruction properly. Complete the sentences by choosing the correct verbs. Here students, in exercise A, two options already given in your textbook. You have to select correct one. See that. First one. Aman blank some of his pocket money every week. Here save or saves both given. So you have to select correct one. So this is third person singular. That's why we have to add S or ES at the end of the verb. That's why the correct answer is saves. S-A-V-E-S. Second, pile blank a lot of work for charity. Do or does is given. This is also here third person singular, and as per the rule in third person singular we have to use does. And where we are using do, I, okay, then they, you, we, there we are using do, but here third person singular, girl name is there and that is singular form. That's why we have to use does. Number 3, Bindya and her mother. Here subject given in a plural form. For the bus every morning. Into bracket wait or waits given. Okay. So here the subject given in plural form. That's why we are not adding s or es at the end of the verb, but only base form of the verb. That's why we have to select here the correct word is wait. W-A-I-T. 4. Paris blank the Paris blank the capital of France. Okay, into bracket is or are given students. This is Paris word. Okay, so here this is also third person singular is there. Then that's why we have to use the word is. Paris is the capital of France. Number 5. The train blank for Puri at 5 a.m. every Tuesday. Here depart or departs given. Here third person singular form the train is given. That's why we have to select the word departs. D-E-P-A-R-T-S. Next, number 6. Gita blank said, let's try to cheer her up. Into bracket look or looks given. Here Gita, the name of girl is given. Third person singular is there. That's why we have to add s or es at the end of the word. But here the word look is given. That's why we have to add only s. L-O-O-K-S. Looks. Number 7. They blank our problem. Into bracket understand or understands given. Here the plural form given in the subject. That's why we have to select the verb in a base form only. That's why the correct answer is understand. They understand our problem. See, then the second fill up, they will blank us. Help or helps given. Here also they is given. So as per the rule, here plural form is given. So we have to select only base form of the verb. That's why we have to write the correct answer, help. Number 8. We blank for long walks in the park. Into bracket go or goes is written. Here plural form given in the subject. That's why we have to write verb in the base form only. That's why we have to select the correct one, go. Suppose if here he, she, it is given, then we have to use only goes. Okay. So I hope students, all of you understood all these 1 to 8 sentences. Now we are going towards exercise number B. Now look at here. Exercise B. Circle the correct verb forms of these sentences. Here also two options are given. Here you have to circle on correct option. Look at here. The little girl dance or dances when she hears music. So the correct answer is dances because girl is written third person singular. So we have to choose verb with S or ES form. So dances is correct answer. Number 2. My sister has or have two daughters. Okay, here my sister written. That's why we have to select has. If sisters written, there we have to choose have. But here third person singular form is there. That's why we have to write has. So you have to circle on has. Number 3. Plants need or needs air, water and sunlight to grow. Here plants, the subject is in plural form. That's why we have to select verb with a base form only. That's why we have to circle on need and double E-D. Number 4. My mother and sister buy or buys vegetables from this shop. Here, my mother and sister. So the subject given in plural form. That's why we have to select a verb with base form. That's why you have to circle on by B-U-Y. Number 5. Tina study or studies in class 6. Here Tina is a third person singular. Okay. So the subject given in singular form, that's why we have to write the verb with the form of S or ES. So here we have to circle on studies. S-T-U-D-I-E-S. Number 6. There is or there are 206 bones in the human body. Here there is written plural form. So here we have to write compulsory R. So you have to circle on R. Number 7. These seem or seems very easy, but it is not so. Here, these is written. THESE is not written, but this is written. That's why this is singular form, means only one sum. We are talking about one particular sum. So here, this sum seems S-E-E-M-S, third person singular. That's why we have to add S at the end of the verb seems. Number 8. The film begins at 5 p.m. So here also third person singular form is there. We are talking about only one film, not many film. That's why we have to write here the correct word begins. B-E-G-I-N-S. Okay. So these are students, you have to use the pencil and you have to circle on the correct answer. Now look at exercise number C. Tick the sentences in which the simple present tense is used correctly. Correct the incorrect ones. Okay. So here in this exercise what you have to do students, that you have to do the tick mark sign in front of the sentence in which sentence the simple present tense used correctly. And if any wrong sentences are there, you have to correct that particular verb form. See, look at here student. First sentence, Meena visits her grandmother thrice a week. Here this verb used wrongly. Here visit is not proper, but what we have to write, visits, because Meena is a third person singular. So we have to compulsory use S at the end of the verb. Now see second. Ali always runs down the corridor at a top speed. Here you can see the only you have to check here verb only, verb form. So Ali is a third person singular. So here runs is already written. So here there is no any error or you can say mistake. So if the mistake is not there, we have to put this type of tick mark sign in front of the sentence. If here written run only, then this is wrong sentence. But here written correctly runs, R-U-N-S. Number 3. Shekhar performed very well at school. Now Shekhar is a third person singular form. We are talking about Shekhar. So this is singular subject is there, but here written perform, P-E-R-F-O-R-M. So you have to underline this verb, and nearby the sentence you have to write the correct form of the verb, that is performs. So what is the spelling? P-E-R-F-O-R-M-S, performs. You have to compulsory write, then it will be correct. Sentence number 4. The twins argues with each other every day. Now here twins means the subject is in plural form. So if the subject is in plural form, we have to write only the verb in the base form. But here this is not written in base form. Here at the end of the verb s is given. So this is wrong. So you have to underline the word argue, and nearby the sentence you have to correct it. What you have to write? Argue only. A-R-G-U-E. You have to cut it S. Number 5. The gardener takes good care of our plants. Okay. So this sentence, if you read it properly, you can see there is no any mistake here. The verb is in proper format because the gardener is a singular subject, and in singular subject, third person singular, we have to compulsory use s or es at the end of the verb. So here the gardener takes is written. So this sentence is a correct sentence. Okay. Now look at that, students. Number 6. The ship sail at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Now here ship. Okay. Ship sail at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. See students, here ships is written. Answer is correct. Okay. Here you have to write ships is a plural form. So here you have to write only sail, not s. See students, here according to your answer sheet, by mistake it is written here sails, but with the ships you have to write only sail. So no need to change this. You have to cut it from here s. Only sail you have to write. Okay. Now number 7. Sound do not move as fast as light. Here sound is given third person singular. So here instead of do you have to write does. Okay. So either you have to underline the word do, and nearby the sentence you have to write does. Number 8. It appeared to be a bright and sunny day. Now here you have to underline the word. Here third person singular is there. So what you have to write? Appears you have to write. So nearby the sentence you have to write Appears. Exercise number D. Now look at here student. In exercise number D, what you have to do? Choose the correct answer to complete the sentences. Here also 3 options already provided. In your textbook you have to tick mark on the correct answer, and in the fill-ups also you have to write the word. See the first word. Hemant blank at a blank. See this whole sentence if you read, you can understand what you have to write. Hemant blank at a bank. So work, works or working given. But here we have to keep in our mind that we have to select the verb with a simple present tense forms. That's why we have to select works. And in the blanks also you have to write the word works. Number 2. C. Blank with her grandparents. Live, lives or living. So which one is the correct one? Lives. She lives with her grandparents, because here also third person singular is given. That's why we have to add s or es. Okay, and living is totally wrong. Number 3. The cattle at the ranch blank on grass. Here feed, feeds or feeding. Here cattle is given. Okay, so what we have to write? Feed the cattle at the ranch on grass. So the correct answer is feed. Now number 4. Janet blank to be a singer. Now here want, wants or wanting. So which one is the correct one? Wants. So here you have to write wants. Number 5. Emily blank delicious soup. Okay. So here what you have to write? Make, makes or making. So the correct answer is makes. M-A-K-E-S. Emily is a third person singular. So we have to write so third person singular is there, that's why we have to write makes. M-A-K-E-S. Aarti and her husband blank in Singapore. Here live, lives or living. So which one is the correct one? Live, L-I-V-E. Then number 7, Sophia blank English very well. Here speak, speaks, speaking. So which one is the correct one? Speaks, because Sophia is a third person singular. Then plants blank water and sunlight to grow. Here the subjects given in plural form. That's why we have to select verb with a base form, that is need. Okay. Now see that exercise number E. Say these sentences aloud in the negative form. Actually student, this is oral practice and we are not doing oral practice exercise, that is only for oral drilling. But here the negative form is a very important in simple present tense. That's why I have written here. Okay, now look at here. Mary works in the post office. Here all these sentences you have to change in a negative format. Okay, so as you know the format of negative, that what you have to do, that first of all you have to write the subject. So Mary is written, then do or does you have to add. Here third person singular is there, that's why you have to write does, and then you have to write not, and then verb with a base form. So works not but work in the post office. Second, I like to drink coffee. So with I we are using do, that's why I do, then not like coffee. Okay, you have to write here coffee, because here the space is limited, that's why students have not written properly, but you have to write in your book properly. Number 3, the man sells colorful caps beside the market. Okay, here all these sentences students you have to write with your small handwriting in your textbook. If I will write here with a small handwriting, then you cannot see properly in the PDF format. That's why I have written only half sentences, but you have to write the sentences full in your textbook. See, wherever the change is there, that only I have written in this exercise. So keep in your mind, the man sells colorful caps beside the market. So here what you have to write, first of all you have to write the man, then third person singular form is there, that's why we have to write does, then we have to write not, and verb with base form. So only we have to write sell. Then the remaining sentence as it is you have to write, no any change. Whatever change is there, that I have already mentioned. Colorful caps beside the market. Number 4. Anne usually goes to school with her friend. Now what you have to write first? Subject and then you have to write does, because this is third person singular, and then you have to compulsory write not, then usually, और goes का क्या हो जाएगा इधर? Go to school with her friend. Number 5. The boys have volleyball practice thrice a week. Now first of all you have to write the boys. This is plural subject, that's why we have to write do not have volleyball practice thrice a week. Number 6. The ice cream parlor stays open all day. Now what you have to write? The ice cream parlor, that is a subject, then you have to write a does not, stays का क्या हो जाएगा? Stay, open all day. Okay students. So this way you have to change one or two more sentences about this exercise. Look at here. My grandparents live in the city. First of all you have to write a subject, my grandparents, then here plural form is given, that's why we have to write do, then we have to write not, or live का तो live ही रहेगा. Okay, live in the city. Next, My neighbors make a lot of noise. Here, first of all, you have to write my neighbors. This is plural form. That's why we have to write do. Then after not and make a lot of noise. Okay. Now one more oral drilling means oral practice exercise given in your textbook. But students, in these chapter, these both exercises are very important. That's why I have taken it. Otherwise, whatever exercise oral practice that we have to speak only, no need to write. Look at here. See these sentences aloud in the interrogative form. Now you have to write all these sentences in interrogative form. And as you know that whenever we are making interrogative sentences, it is very compulsory that we have to put question mark sign at the end of the word. Okay, now look at here. Bobby travels to Mumbai frequently. Here, Bobby is a third person singular, so we have to put a does because here the verb aim is our, that is not given the main base form, so we have to select do or does in all sentences. So first of all we have to write a does, then we have to write subject, then verb. In a main base form we have to write, no need to put s or es, travel to Mumbai frequently, and at the end of the sentence you have to compulsory put question mark sign. Now second, Sakina design lovely dress. Okay. Now friends, you can see here Sakina is a third person singular, so we have to put does first, then Sakina designs. Designs का क्या हो जाएगा इधर, design only, DESIGN, lovely dresses, and at the end of the sentence you have to put compulsory question mark sign. Okay. Now next, number 3, Priya and Jatin play tennis once a week. Now here subject given in plural form, Priya and Jatin both. Okay, so here we have to write, do Priya and Jatin play tennis once a week? Once a week. So here you have to put a question mark sign at the end of the sentence. Now number 4, they live on the 4th floor. Okay, here the plural form is given, that's why we have to write do. Then they live on the 4th floor. At the end of the sentence, question mark sign. Number 5, the girl wears beads in her hair. Now the girl is a singular subject, third person singular, that's why we have to put does. Then the girl wears का क्या हो जाएगा, wear, only wear, WEAR, the verb with the main base form, beads in her hair, and question mark sign. Next, number 6, this door leads to the kitchen. Okay, now here third person singular is there, that's why we have to write does this door lead to the kitchen, question mark sign. Number 7, she bakes colorful cupcakes. Now this subject is in third person singular, so we have to put a does, then after she, then bakes का क्या हो जाएगा, bake only, BAKE, colorful cupcakes, and then question mark sign. Last sentence, Maria teaches the children in the neighborhood. Now here Maria is a third person singular, that's why we have to put does. Does Maria teach the children? इधर teaches का क्या हो जाएगा student, only teach, TEACH, teach the children in the neighborhood, and then question mark sign at the end of the sentence. Okay, I hope students, all of you understood. So write in your good handwriting, and wherever the space is limited, there you have to write in your small handwriting. Okay students, I have not written in that much small handwriting because this is a PDF format, and if I will write in a small handwriting you cannot easily read it. Okay, because just now I have to explain, that's why. Exercise number G. Complete this paragraph with the simple present tense forms of the verbs in the bracket. Now in this exercise students, what you have to do, whatever in bracket word is given, that you have to write in simple present tense format. Okay, see that first one. I blank into bracket get up is given. So I is there, so no need to change. We have to write only I get up, not gets up. Okay, so I get up at 7 a.m. blank get का get ही रहेगा, no change get, dressed and blank drive to school. Here I is there as a subject, that's why we have to write only drive, not drives. Okay, then next I blank reach. Either I first person singular is there, so we have to write a verb in a base form, that's why we have to write here only reach. My restaurant by 7:30 a.m. The restaurant blank open. Here the restaurant singular, third person singular is given. That's why we have to write verb with S. Opens. OPENS at 8 a.m. and serves. Here again we are talking about restaurant, so we have to keep in our mind about subject, third person singular. That's why here we have to write serves. SERVES. Breakfast until 10 a.m. and lunch until 2:30 p.m. Then all the workers blank for 2 hours. Here see the student subject, the workers plural form is given. So here we need not to change verb into yes form, but a verb with a base form only. That's why we have to write rest only for 2 hours. Okay. Then the restaurant, again the third person singular, restaurant opens. Open का क्या हो जाएगा? Opens. OPENS. Again at 4:30 p.m. The restaurant, okay, here look at here, the restaurant does not serve any food. Here restaurant third person singular is there, that's why we have to put a does not serve any food after 11 p.m. Then I के साथ क्या रहेगा? Only go, not goes. I go home and have का have, because with I we are using have, not has. I have my dinner. Soon after dinner I go. इधर I है, so the verb is same with the base form. I go to bed. I put का put ही रहेगा, no change. I put the telephone off. Okay, I put the telephone off the hook so that it does not ring. इधर it का यूज किया है थर्ड पर्सन सिंगुलर, so we have to write does not ring. And disturb का disturb ही होगा, disturb my sleep. I blank not work, either written in the bracket. So I के साथ हम किसका यूज करेंगे? Do का. I do not work on Sundays. Okay students, so these are our exercise of this chapter A to G. I hope students, all of you understood all these exercises properly of chapter number 13, the simple present tense. Once again, all the exercise you have to read properly with a proper concentration 2 times. Write in your textbook with the help of pencil and try to understand the basic rules of simple present tense. Thank you. Have a nice day to all of you.